Many men are told their testosterone is low. Often, the next sentence is that medication may be the solution. That framing feels simple, it feels medical, and it feels authoritative. But it skips the most important question. Why did testosterone fall in the first place? Hormones do not operate in isolation, they respond to signals coming from the body's environment. Testosterone is not a master switch, it is a downstream signal. To understand this, we need to talk about what testosterone actually does. Testosterone supports muscle protein synthesis. It helps maintain lean mass. It amplifies the body's response to resistance training. It supports recovery and tissue repair. But testosterone does not create demand on its own. Demand is created by what you do with your body. Resistance training creates mechanical demand. It tells the body that muscle tissue is useful and should be preserved. Protein provides the raw material. Without sufficient amino acids, the body cannot rebuild what is stressed. Energy availability provides permission. If calories are chronically low, anabolic processes are suppressed. Testosterone responds to this entire environment. When muscle is used regularly, adequately fed, and energetically supported, testosterone signaling tends to be sufficient. When muscle use declines, protein intake drops, or energy is restricted, testosterone signaling often declines as well. This is not a defect. It is adaptation. Consider a very common real-world scenario. A man decides to get healthier. He reduces calories. He eats cleaner. Protein intake drops without him noticing. Resistance training becomes less frequent. Cardio increases. None of these changes seem extreme. Over time, muscle mass begins to decline, not dramatically, quietly. The body senses that muscle tissue is no longer being prioritized. Maintaining it becomes metabolically expensive. Anabolic signaling downshifts. Testosterone follows. Months later, blood work shows low testosterone. The conclusion seems obvious. The cause feels medical, but nothing was broken. The system was responding appropriately to inputs. In this context, testosterone replacement raises an important question. What problem are we actually trying to solve? Raising testosterone can increase a number on a lab report, but it does not automatically restore muscle demand. It does not correct inadequate protein intake, and it does not override chronic energy restriction. In some cases, it can mask the underlying problem. Muscle loss may continue. Training quality may remain poor. Dietary intake may stay insufficient. The lab value improves. Function does not. This is why protein intake is central to this conversation. Protein is not interchangeable with other calories. It is the substrate for muscle maintenance. If protein intake is low, muscle tissue becomes difficult to justify. If muscle tissue declines, anabolic demand declines. If anabolic demand declines, testosterone signaling becomes less necessary. This creates a feedback loop. Low protein intake leads to muscle loss. Muscle loss reduces anabolic signaling. Reduced signaling lowers testosterone. The same pattern appears with resistance training. Without regular mechanical loading, muscle tissue has no functional justification. The body adapts by reallocating resources elsewhere. Testosterone does not fight this process. It responds to it. Age adds another layer. As men get older, muscle becomes harder to maintain. Protein needs increase. The anabolic response becomes less efficient. If intake and training are not adjusted upward, muscle loss accelerates. Testosterone levels often decline alongside it. Again, this is adaptation, not failure. None of this means testosterone replacement is never appropriate. There are cases where it is clearly indicated and beneficial, but those cases should be evaluated only after addressing adequate protein intake, adequate resistance training, and adequate energy availability. Skipping those steps leads to misdiagnosis. Low testosterone is often treated as the problem. In reality, it is frequently the signal. In the next episode, we'll look at how much protein people actually need to support muscle, recovery, and hormonal signaling, and why so many people fall short without realizing it. This is Protein Truth.